Hey guys, Sean from Living Seeds, your seed guru. Today I'm on a farm in the middle of the Midlands, right against the Drakensberg mountain. I am chatting to South Africa's chili eating champion and the League of Fire Africa belt champion. How awesome is that? Royce, thank you for inviting us into your home and into your garden. Tell us where you started with chilies.
So it was as far back as I can remember. My father used to grow the African bird's eye chilies. We call them devil chilies. That's your frutescens. So he used to grow bushes and bushes in his garden. He used to make me go out and pick them. I used to feed them to my brother. My brother then would cry to my dad. My dad would give me the chilies. And so the love for the burn of the chilies developed. Yeah. And my dad used to make the most amazing chili chutney. And I used to just love that.
Oh, excellent. Okay, so now we're talking SuperHots because you are the reigning Africa champion SuperHot chili eater. It's as simple as that. So the leap from an African bird's eye to a Chinense, a SuperHot, how did that happen and where did this whole process start? Because SuperHots haven't been around in South Africa for that long.
Yes. So back in 2018, we bought our first place and we had a garden. So I wanted to grow some chilies. And I went out to the local nursery, bought a few seed packets of basic chilies, cayennes and stuff like that. I grew them, I did well. And the following season, I heard about this competition or this festival that was happening at the Butler Ranch. It was happening at the Butler Ranch chili eating
I remember
festival,
that one, yes, yeah.
And so I decided, I can handle quite hot chilies, like the African bird's eye. So let me put my name down to compete in this chili eating competition. So I obviously heard there would be SuperHots there, and I'd never eaten SuperHots. I'd never seen them, I'd never eaten them. I only knew habanero as to be like the hottest.
Yeah. So
I basically entered that competition only training with habaneros that I bought from the local food lovers, and I think that's where I first found habaneros, the hottest chili you could buy from commercially.
Yes.
And I practiced with the habaneros, and I ate them like with every meal. One habanero was very hot, but I knew I could handle the chilies, and I entered that Butler Ranch chili eating competition, and I won the competition.
Sure. Based off habaneros?
Based off habaneros. And I realized that my tolerance was a lot higher than a lot of the other people's tolerances. With them tapping out and going out and me not really feeling that much heat during the competition. I think it was more adrenaline and stuff like that.
Yes.
But that adrenaline kicked in at the right time.
An interesting thing for me is that I enjoy the flavors of almost all chilies. A habanero I cannot stand.
I know. The habanero's flavor is not one to be desired, but it's one of the first ones that got me to winning a chili eating competition.
Fantastic. Royce, so you mentioned that you were training with habaneros. Can you run through this training process? Because whenever I'm reading posts leading up to chili competitions, the guys say, I'm in training for the chili competition. What is this training about, and what is the Royce McCain training method?
So back when I first started, for the first chili eating competition I entered, the habanero thing was eating just a full 1 or 2 habaneros with every meal.
Yeah.
More
with food,
sliced up fresh. But these days, the chili eating preparations it'll be weeks or months in advance, and whether I don't have hot chilies available, I find the hottest sauces I can. Yeah. I'll use hot chili powder. I'll add it to every single meal just to kind of spark up the tolerance a bit. Yes. And then when I do have access to the chilies, I'll first start by eating the chilies, the hottest chilies I can get, fresh. And I basically chew the chilies in the mouth, and I chew them for about a few minutes just to kind of get the burn there. And then what I'll do is I'll actually spit the chili out just to kind of get the heat.
So you're trying to extend the heat tolerance in your mouth.
In my mouth, that's
okay.
It. Yeah, the heat tolerance in my mouth. And then once I've done that, and it comes normally up to about a few weeks before a chili eating competition. Then I'll start to eat fresh chilies and kind of like extend the gap between them. So I'll eat one chili and then maybe wait a couple minutes, but really chew it around in the mouth and get that mouth and tongue to feel everything. And then I'll have another chili. So wait 2 minutes, a 2-minute gap between each, and that's generally how it works. So what you want to do before you eat the chilies, you want to make sure you've eaten a decent meal, something with substance. Yeah, I mean, you could even eat bananas, but something with substance, maybe a sandwich or something with carbs and something with carbs and something that fills up your stomach a bit. And then an hour later, or an hour to an hour and a half later, you will attempt to eat the chili. So you can have milk an hour before, you can have milk 15 minutes before. That's good. Or full fat yogurt, something like that. And after that, you've given it a time period, then you can eat the chilies. You don't want to do it straight after you've eaten a big meal because that will cause everything to come up.
See, your guineas are making a bit of noise, hey?
Yes.
Okay, so eating right before is a problem.
Eating right before is a problem.
At least the guineas have calmed down a bit.
Yeah.
Cool. So what you're saying is that if you eat something right before a competition or right before you're training, you're going to be throwing up.
You are most likely going to be throwing up, and also the food will be sitting quite high in the stomach.
Yeah.
So you won't be able to take those chilies down.
You need to get them down.
You need to get them down, and as soon as the chilies sit here, then they start building from here.
And then it's reflux.
And then it's reflux and all of that
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah, all those wonderful things. Well, Royce, I take my hat off to you, absolutely, because it's something that I simply cannot do. And a lot of people can't.
Yeah, so there is a basic way of eating the chilies. It's either your body's going to go into a panic mode or it's going to keep on farting. It's the fight or flight method.
Yeah.
Your body will either tell you, I need to get them out now, I need to have milk. Like my wife Kirsten and our friend Darren, they ate SuperHot chip with me on a video.
Yes.
And they absolutely couldn't take it. It's
one of those Packy one chip challenge.
Something like that. Yeah, something like that. So
I've done the Packy one chip challenge, and it's. I think while we were going through it, it was okay, fine, this is hot, but then at the end I thought I can handle that. Maybe I should do a SuperHot competition. Nah, I'm not going to do it.
So what happens is also if you don't eat something sufficient, when those chilies, it might not be hot in the mouth, but when it reaches your stomach, that's where the true pain sets in.
Yes.
So if you don't have anything sufficient in your stomach, you don't have a lining, you don't have food or milk or something like that.
Something to absorb the capsaicin.
Absorb the capsaicin, you're going to be in serious pain.
Yeah, chili cramps.
It's serious cramps.
Royce, tell me what happens when you walk up to that stage and you sit on that competition bench. What are the emotions that go through you? And what is your process? Because it's you and a bunch of guys and girls on the bench. You're all trying to psych each other out. What emotions do you go through leading up to the bench, sitting at the bench, and how do you psych out your competitors? That's if you want to give us your secrets.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't have any secrets. So basically, what I do is, before I go onto the stage, my mouth always gets seriously dry. So I always need to find some water to drink just before I climb on stage.
Nervous.
That's nerves. That's nerves.
Yeah.
So when I climb onto stage, everything's shaking. My hands are shaking. I get the nervous shakes.
Yes.
And as soon as I sit down at the bench, then I am focused. I normally put my glasses on.
Yeah.
And
poker face.
And I believe the line, Philippians 4 verse 13 is the verse in the Bible. I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me.
Yeah.
And I just focus on that. And I just look forward with my glasses on. And that's actually my way to psych out my competition. I don't show any emotion on my face. There's no pain on my face. You can't see my eyes because they're also covered by glasses. And I just look forward. And when people are looking left and people are looking right to see what's happening, I just carry on looking forward.
Yes.
And it's like you're basically getting people to tap out themselves.
To tap themselves out.
Tap themselves out.
Yes.
Because you know, they don't know what you're feeling. They can't see any sort of pain from you.
There's no register
There's
from
no
your
register
face.
from your face.
Okay.
And they'll think, like, how many can this guy actually end up doing?
He's not going to stop.
If he's not,
Yeah, this dude's not going to stop.
if he's not showing any pain on his face after 10, 15 rounds,
Yes.
how many rounds can this guy actually do? So that's my way to suck out the competition, and it's worked every time.
Clearly. Absolutely, clearly. Royce, we in your chili patch over here, and you've got a number of fantastic varieties. You have this guy over here, 500 litre. It's in a 500 litre.
500 litre grow bag.
How much have you harvested off him?
Currently, I've harvested about 10 kilos off this one. I was hoping to get more, but the birds have really gotten stuck in.
Yes.
And you can see all the half-eaten pods there.
Yeah.
So this was quite a...
And we're right at the end of the grow season as well.
That's it. And the plant still got mostly green leaves, mostly got pods on it. And I could still pick a few more off there, but I think I'm tired of it.
Have you guys had frost here yet?
We had a sub-zero temps, but wasn't below...
1 day.
1 day. It was one
same
day.
with us. We've had 1 or 2 days where we've had -1, -2.
And the best weathers actually come from this time after that sub-zero temperature. So we've had more sunny days in autumn than we have in summer.
And the plants are rushing just to push those pods out.
They're rushing to push the pods.
Yeah.
As you can see, the pods are nice and big size pods. And yeah, we love doing the organic way on the garden.
Excellent. Tell us about 2 or 3 of your favorite peppers that you've grown this year. And are you working on any exciting hybridization projects? Or I know you've been hybridizing for a couple of years now.
Yes.
Tell us about a couple of your goals.
Okay, so I've got my own hybrid that I created back in 2020. That was a Fatali mother plant being the one that actually produced the fruit, and then the father being a nade orange, pimented nade orange. It's a very dark leaf chili variety.
Yeah.
It ripens orange with black streaks in it, and
Yeah.
I crossed that. I used the pollen of that to cross onto the Fatali, and the reason I knew why the cross or the hybrid took is because the mother plant with the pod and the seeds, when I grew those out the following season,
Yeah.
the plant was dark
Okay.
leaf, so it
Yes.
inherited traits from the father.
Dark leaves, dark stems.
Dark
Yeah.
stems, and the fruit also had some dark streaks on them.
Nice.
So that's my main hybrid. I haven't shared seeds with anyone, and I've been growing that since 2021, if you want to say, the F1 generation in
Okay.
2021.
Are you trying to stabilize it so it becomes an OP?
Yes, I'm trying to stabilize it, and you know, it might only be my personal project. I probably won't send seeds out.
Yeah.
It's just one of my own. It's not to make money off of. It's just to enjoy what I've created.
It's the pleasure of the cross.
That's it. That's the pleasure of the cross. It tastes amazing. It looks fantastic on the plants, and that yellow and black, you can't really beat it in terms of chili colors.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Tell us about some of your plants over here.
So I've got a number of plants that I'm growing this year. The Brazilian starfish is definitely a favorite of mine. The plants get very large, as you can see.
Yep.
They produce a lot of peppers, and they just taste great. So my favorites are the sweet tasting peppers, like this pepper peach stripey. They're sweet. You can just snack them off the bush. My wife and can enjoy them, and my family can enjoy them, because not everyone likes to eat SuperHots like I do. And they're just good for all round consuming. I mean, I like the Cape Keratin there. That's a nice cayenne type variety. It dries on the plant. You don't have to put it through any dryers to get it ready.
Yeah.
And you can make the flakes straight from the plant.
Nice thin wall on
Nice thin wall on them.
Yeah.
And the pepper peach stripey, very sweet. I love the bacatums.
You gave us some of those a couple of days ago. We had
Yes.
them on mussels last night, actually.
Wow.
Absolutely stunning.
Wow, that's
We
amazing.
we got some mussels, put them on the brow, a little bit of a garlic butter, some pepper peach stripey, and some cheese on top. And we flattened them. It was absolutely divine.
Sure, that's lovely.
Everybody except my daughter ate them, but that's fine because it was more for us.
Oh, well, that's good. But yeah, I love the sweeter chilies. I love actually the milder chilies. I love the the Thai orange. It's one of my go-tos. You know, it's got like that authentic Thai taste, and it's got a nice heat. It's got like that heat that you know that it's going to be warm, but it's got like an authentic Thai type flavor.
Yeah.
They also dry on the plant.
Good producers as well.
Good producers, and yeah, definitely a favorite. So the SuperHots I grew this year, one was a Tiberius Mauler. I got seeds from a friend in the US, and those were super gnarly. They grew these long tails, and
I mean, they were a good size, eh?
Yeah, super bumpy and extremely hot. It's definitely the hottest chili I grew this year, and it definitely helped me leading up into the competitions. Ate a number of those chilies to prep for the competitions. Yeah,
fantastic. Royce, it's awesome to hold your belts. Thank you for allowing me to hold these belts.
Pleasure.
You're the South African National Chili Eating Champion.
That's correct.
I think it's a title that you'll be able to hold for quite a while if you so wish. Yes? Definitely. But let's talk about this boyki over here. So this is the League of Fire Africa belt.
That's correct.
Okay, and you are the League of Fire Africa champion.
That's correct.
Excellent. The lead up to this, was there anything that you did special?
No, there was no lead up to
You did this competition, I think, the week before.
A week before. So I did the South African National Chili Eating Competition.
That was in PE.
That was in PE, hosted by Bay Chilies and all of that. And that I won that competition a week before I actually entered this.
So you'd been prepping.
I've been prepping. My tolerance is still very high. I was even at Brett, my friend's house, after the South African National Chili Eating Competition. I was still eating his SuperHots during the week to prep, to make sure that everything was in top form, and the tolerance didn't decrease at all. But yeah.
Excellent. Now, you are the League of Fire Africa champion. The next stage in the League of Fire is the Intercontinental competition. Tell us about that.
Yes, so League of Fire is heading to Italy, where they'll host a competition that will have champions from the USA. So it's an Intercontinental Championship. We'll have competitors from the USA, from Africa, from the Oceania, like New Zealand and Australia, and there'll be a European champion as well.
Excellent.
So they'll all come
together. So you're up against the big guns.
Up against the big guns, all of these competitors from other continents, and there will also be runners-up in the competitions from previous competitions, or like American or African competitions and stuff like that.
Cool. So have you watched your competitors? Have you watched their competitions?
Yes, I definitely have.
Have you studied them?
I've studied them. There'll be a lot of tough competition there, but I'll just go there and do my thing and push as hard as I can and hope for the best, you know?
Royce, we rate you, hey?
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We really rate you. How do we get you to the Intercontinental League of Fire?
So I've got a pinned post on my Facebook profile, and Royce McCain, and you'll be able to find my Back a Buddy campaign.
We'll put a link in the description in the bottom.
That's correct, and it has the write-up of basically how I'm going over my story of chili eating and everything you need to know to help support me. There's two ways especially to support me, is contributing physically.
$100, $500, $1,000, whatever you can afford.
That's correct, and also sharing the post across your Facebook profile and things like that, on groups, things like that. That'll definitely help.
That'll be fantastic. Guys, Royce is representing South Africa. He's representing the continent of Africa. Let us help get this guy into Italy. Let's make sure that he brings home the Intercontinental League of Fire Champions belt. That'll be fantastic.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you for your time today. I want to thank you for bringing us into your home, into your garden, spending the time with us, having a chat with us. I've learned a lot about chili eating. I've been growing chilies for many, many years, but I've learned a lot about chili eating today, things that I never knew, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming to our place and finally coming to check our farm here, Mountain View Ranch, and just spending time with us. And I really appreciate you having your family here and just spending some time with us. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.